Well, this is for a very long time. This has been a payback time to at least in the mainstream. They've been here two times and defeated us, and we're there and they defeated us. But one thing that is going for them is that almost all of them are staying in one city, Accra City, and you could see the kind of blend. Ours were all scattered all across this country, and that we have been unable to train for more than a day or two. So what that suggests is that basketball is played all over the world now. Part of what we are trying to do is to actually enhance the relationship with Ghana, and then you could clearly see the rivalry, and again you could see the friendship. Uh, all that is important is that you invite ex-players, ex-international, and they see the youngsters, and they also come up to add one or two things about the game, the technical nature, and the way forward. Well, the last time we had a tournament of this nature was about 12 years back in this country, and you could see in the last couple of years we've been attending all our international engagements. We were in South Africa, in Namibia, in Kenya, in Zimbabwe, in Egypt, and so on and so forth. And part of the problem was because we are not so organized enough to be able to bring a continental championship of this nature. Now, after seeing us participate in quite a number of international fora, they now think it is important to try us. I was with the president of African Hockey the day before yesterday, and he was very impressed with the organization, impressed with the security, and also impressed with the friendly nature of the entire game. It's not just about winning; it's about cultivating the friendship, and it's also bringing out the youth from the street and making sure that a way forward out of a very numerous ways. Hockey is one of them, and I can tell you we have so far about 12 professional players that are plying their trade in Europe. All those things are what add up to the law of the game. And for us, one of the basic problems we are having, which is fundamental, is lack of sponsorship and appreciation from the powers that be. Uh, Except for a few years when the Solomon Dolon came about, the Minister of Sport doesn't see hockey as anything important. Everything that you've seen in the last 8 years when we were there actually comes from our own personal uh, pocket. And we're not worried that we're spending our money because hockey is part of what makes us tick. Started this game right from secondary school all to the university. Most of our friends are actually ex who met in hockey fiestas. So we are not losing anything by spending our resources in making sure that the game is played to this level. But what is important for state governments in particular to appreciate that when you introduce youngsters to these games, and not only hockey, to other games, you are opening an opportunity for them to be responsible citizens. And that, therefore, government should see it as a cardinal principle to making sure that these youngsters are taken off the street. You'll be amazed that some teams who are playing this tournament from Nigeria have actually self-sponsored themselves. Take the case of Kaduna, for example, which is amazing. They have been champions. They have, in the last 3 years, won a total of eight different national championships. But they are here, courtesy of the vice chairman, is almost doing everything for them. And how much does the Kaduna State government needs to bring? They won the tournament, they won the festival, both ladies, they won gold, they won the national tournament, they won the under 17, they won the under 21, they won bronze. Look at these kind of things. It's so discouraging that the government is paying lip service. Not even paying lip service, they don't even care. And that is one thing that you journalists will need to orchestrate and say it out clearly. That some of the state government don't care whether these youth found comfort in playing sports or not. For us, it's actually to making sure that we say it as it is, and it's a challenge. It's not. There's nothing political about the statement. Some states don't care about sports, and you could clearly see it, and therefore you have to name them to shame them. And the part of the responsibility of journalists is to say this thing out without no hold bar. That some states came on their own. They represented the state. Kaduna represented the state and won medals on their own. They are here representing the country through courtesy of being the champions. Two teams out of the 36 states and Abuja, two teams are coming from Kaduna, and they're on their own. That's really tragic. For us, you could see the youth. They are in their early 20s or late 20s, and the future is very bright. You could see the beginning of the game, how they were beaten by the North African team. But towards then you could see how they picked up. The future of hockey is very bright, with teams from Kaduna, from Delta, from Oyo, Niger. Amazing youngsters coming with a lot of promises.
Thank you very much, sir.
I appreciate it. Yeah.